We continue to follow our breaking news today. The grand jury handed down a no-bill decision. That is, the 8 officers involved in the shooting of Jayland Walker will not face criminal charges.
Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost announced those findings, and he concluded the officers' use of force was justified. So we go on with the story. We bring in civil rights lawyer Sarah Gelsomino to break down that decision. Sarah, a decision not to indict. Surprising?
Not surprising. Unfortunate, but not surprising. I mean, grand juries, really, prosecutors can bring basically any criminal case to a grand jury and get an indictment. That happens all the time, except when it's a police officer. Consistently, we see prosecutors coming out of grand juries with a no bill, no indictment, no criminal charges when it comes to the case of police violence.
Now, when it comes to the threshold for, when is deadly force justified, I mean, threshold's pretty low there, too. Am I correct? I mean, police officers only have to feel like they are under deadly threat.
Right.
Right?
Right. And it's really well, there's a different threshold for the criminal case and then for other parts of the case coming forward. But you're right. As long as an officer can articulate a reasonable fear that he or she is an imminent threat of death or great bodily harm, then they can use force. So it's not really a very high bar at all.
And so then does it matter then that 94 shots were fired versus 5 shots?
Well, at this point, it's a little tough to know because all of the investigative files in this case have been held secret until today. So the public doesn't know, no one knows really, other than those prosecutors, what the outcome of that the actual facts of that investigation show.
So, Sarah, we are obviously on the watch about what's going to happen socially down in Akron.
Sure.
But what's going to happen legally? Take us through what can we expect next?
Sure. This is just the first part of an investigation. I always tell people there are 3 different avenues after a police shooting occurs.
Right.
One is the criminal investigation. That's where we are now. After this, Akron should engage, and they've said they will engage in an internal review. That's to see if the officers violated any kind of policies, their use of force policy, their body camera policy, any policy. That's the department investigating and regulating their own officers.
So it's the department investigating itself.
That's correct, which leads to a lot of questions.
Now, the family has expressed that they will file a civil suit, a wrongful death lawsuit. We were speaking earlier, the Akron Police Department is currently refusing to release the names of these officers. We've been asking because we want to know if these officers have ever been involved in any other cases or examples of excessive force or deadly force. Right. But I would imagine if they're going to file a civil lawsuit, we're going to get these names anyway, right?
Right. This police activity is so serious. All police activity is a matter of public interest. But when police go out and use this kind of force against a person, when it starts in a traffic stop in particular, right, the community has a right to know and should know. And Akron should have an interest in transparency. If their officers didn't do anything wrong, then why hide the ball? Here we are 9 months after Jayland was shot, and we still don't have any real answers about what happened.
So once again, I mean, the headline from our conversation with you, you were not surprised there wasn't an indictment because a police investigation, very, very different with a grand jury.
Exactly.
All right. Sarah, thanks.
Thank you.